Welcome to Turku Saatanalle 2024 or XI11. Here we are in my home city, Turku, having some Brazilian friends. Not only Sex Trash, but we also have Outlaw. And the man of today is Daniel, who made it all possible. Thank you, Daniel, or should I say, obrigado. Let's start introducing yourself. Why are you here and who are you after all?
I'm just a musician. I'm here just because.
Don't be so goddamn humble. No.
I'm a musician and I'm here because I'm playing my music. I don't know.
But what is your role? What is your stage name?
I don't have a stage name. I use only D as a name. Yeah, we try to keep the egos out of the band, you know.
And in Outlaw, your roles are?
I create basically everything besides the drums, and I write the lyrics, I play guitar live, and I sing, basically.
So you're a man of many talents.
Yeah, you can say that or not.
Also the translator for Sex Trash interview, so because you need to know. And then we have a drummer from Finland, curiously enough. Like, it seems like in Brazil they don't have any good drummers, so they had to come to the home of metal music, and hence we're in Finland. But we're gonna do it in English anyway. Welcome to Rauta.
Thank you.
And you're here to support the Brazilian battle brothers, so to say.
Yeah.
How does it feel to play in Finland as a Finnish drummer, but for a Brazilian band?
Actually, really excited because we haven't ever played in Finland with Outlaw. This is first time.
So it's kind of a virgin trip.
Yeah, it's for me in some way. It's really, big thing, kind of, because I've been playing, of course, in Finland, but not with this band. So it's new thing.
That is kind of a weird in a way.
Yeah.
Considering that you're
exactly.
a Finnish person.
Yeah.
Let's start with your connection before we talk to Daniel. How did you end up in this band? And while there is a big ocean between Finland and Brazil, I mean, a lot of kilometers, a lot of miles between the artists themselves, and here you are, however, playing for the band.
Well, it was back in 2019. I've been doing drum covers for YouTube, and Daniel found my drum cover. I think it was Timmu Porkir cover, and just sent me mail that, hey, would you like to join the band? Record the album and play a couple kicks and like that. And then we met in Brazil in 2019.
That's pretty weird.
Yeah, I went from Pattijoki to Sao Paulo.
So Pattijoki and Sao Paulo, people need to understand. One is a really, really big city. Never been there, but I know. And Pattijoki, kind of a town, village almost. Let's take your version of the story. How did you end up getting a Finnish drummer? I mean, Brazil is one of the biggest countries in the world in terms of population and landscape and all that stuff. Surely you must have some Brazilian drummers, but you end up having this Finnish drummer. Why?
Well, at this time I had some struggle with drummers in Brazil, because usually they are not so good or they are not so compromised. So it's always like a complicated thing, especially when you want to take it seriously. And then I searched for a cover of Vatain on YouTube, and I clicked on his video, and it was the first video. And then I sent him a message, and for some weird reason he was like, "Yeah, why not?"
That is just
and he went to Brazil.
That is some weird way to start it. Now that you mentioned Vatain, it's kind of obvious that people listening to Outlaw's music know that your style isn't exactly typical Brazilian. Yeah. Before you get to answer that, I'm just talking my perspective. I was listening to your music, and you probably remember when I was reviewing the latest album back in the days, I was like, this is like a Brazilian Vatain. And when I were listening to your earlier albums later on, it was like, okay, there's a lot of dissection there. So very, very Swedish. You even have a dissection cover, if I recall correctly. What's the fascination with Swedish melodic black metal to begin with?
I don't know how it came, but it just came when I was a teenager. I listened to Dissection and I was like, okay, this is different. You know, I was used to Sarcófago and Sepultura, that are amazing bands, but when I listened I was trying to be a virtuoso guitar player when I was younger. And when I listened to Dissection, I was like, okay, this is something different from what I know as a black metal band. And then I started with Dissection, and then I discovered Vatain, and all came, like all the European scene, all the Swedish scene, like I love bands like Necrophobic, I like Mark Gröning, and Valkyria and Marduk. So I started to discover the European scene through dissection.
Okay.
And then it was just like more the Swedish scene for some reason. For some reason I love Swedish music, even Nabba and this kind of stuff.
I mean, I totally understand growing up with the stuff and knowing the kind of evil and sinister melodies. But that is even more strange considering a lot of Brazilian bands have this kind of a chaotic, trashy, very deathy approach when it comes to extreme metal. Like you mentioned, Sarcophago and Holocausto and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Sepultura being the biggest one, I guess. They're all kind of very, very different in terms of extreme metal and what you guys... do you ever get to hear about it? Like, hey, you don't sound Brazilian, or I wouldn't expect you to come from Brazil with this kind of Swedish music.
I think that this was exactly the point for me. Like, when I was a teenager, I wanted to hear something like this dissection and see a gig like this in Brazil. But I never found a band like this. So I was like, okay, I will do it. Because I just want to listen to this kind of music and create this. And yes, everybody who sees your show usually is like, oh, are you Brazilian? What the fuck? Nobody's expecting that. And on our last tour with Power from 2021, a lot of people came like, Brazil? Like, it doesn't make sense, you know? But it's kind of common, actually.
So you're kind of like bringing Swedish black metal to Brazil in a way.
Kind of, yeah. Actually, now it's coming more and more bands like this for some reason, you know, from Brazil. I think.
Have you been like the torchbearer, like, hey, you should join me? Like,
maybe. I produce bands, I'm a music producer, and those bands are coming to me to be produced by me, so it's kind of, I think I'm helping to lead it.
So you're kind of having a lot of responsibility also for Brazilian metal in a sense.
I don't like to put that way, but maybe.
Yeah, I wanted to put it.
Yeah.
All right, let's turn to the drummer then. What drove you to play this kind of metal? Why did you decide, okay, I need to play drum covers for YouTube?
It was back then. I was 13, 14 years old, and me and my best friend, we had nothing to do, you know, teenagers and just killing time. So we decided that let's record drums and make a video, and with really cheap equipment, and then we just started to do it, and just suddenly it became like a routine. We were doing every week some videos, and well, then some of the videos became more international, like Sepultura covers, and from black metal, Vatain, Dimmu, Patushka, these covers. But the reason why I started to do the videos, I don't know.
I guess it was teenager.
Yeah,
That's very
just
good.
for fun.
Before we go to your musical roots and all that stuff, I have to ask something that has been bothering me as a random YouTube viewer. There are lots of drum cam and especially drumming covers on YouTube, which are almost like, hey, let's show some skin, let's put the titties on the stage rather than, you know, focus on the actual drumming and doing interesting drum solutions. How does it make you feel as a male drummer that a lot of female drummers are like kind of trying to divert the attention from playing to something else?
I think for me it's just simple answer that the drumming is just, especially in this kind of music, it's just pure energy. Like I don't care. Like it just has to look good and of course sound good, nothing else. So.
All right. What are your roots when it comes to metal? I mean, what kind of bands, doesn't have to be the extreme metal kind of bands, what kind of bands gave you to inspiration to, I want to play drums and I want to become a drummer?
It becomes from progressive rock, Jethro Tull, and because my father used to listen a lot Jethro Tull and old Finnish band, of course, Hurricanes and Royals, this stuff. And then when I first time heard Metallica, of course it was the kickstart, like now I want to play drums.
Now you want to be the next Lars Ulrich.
Yeah.
All right, what about you, Daniel? What was the reason, or who was the reason for you to pick up guitar?
Well, when I was a kid, I never liked to play with toys, and then my mother gave me a guitar, and that was the thing for me, you know. So since I was a kid, I was a big fan of Metallica, and Kirk Hammett was like God for me, you know. And I think that the main reason why I started playing guitar was Kirk Hammett, but the main reason for me to take it seriously was more like probably Jason Becker, and at the same time Jung Not Vade, and this kind of stuff, you know. They were my heroes when I was younger.
What about now? Who is your guitar hero now? Who is like the most inspiring guitarist who like, I want to be like that guy, but I don't look better?
Maybe it's still Jung Not Vade. Like I really love his work. I love the way how he do it. I'm a big fan of Yngwie Malmsteen.
Okay.
Know, also.
More is more.
Yeah, not on my music. Not on my music.
I know. I wanted to know if you know what the reference is.
Yeah, I know.
Good one.
Not on my music, but for him it works. You know.
yeah. Going crazy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You also need your own Ferrari with the Outlaw videos.
yeah.
Okay, but what about the extreme metal? When did you decide, like, okay, Metallica and bands like that are not enough. I want to go more evil, more sinister, and all that stuff. Like you mentioned that you found Swedish black metal. But was that the first stepping stone into the extreme and darker metal, or was there a door open before that?
When I was like 12 years old, I was playing guitar, and some band from my neighborhood needed a guitar player for a kind of thrash death metal band, and they were older than me, like 16 or 17 years old, and I didn't know like extreme metal. I knew only the basic stuff. And then they came, and I was like, yeah, I just want to play in a band. And then they showed me things like Sarcophago, like Holocausto, and this kind of bands, and I started listening to more to Slayer, and then Death, and then Cannibal Corpse, and I started from this. And after some point, I wasn't so satisfied with this, so I stopped with this kind of like playing death metal, and I dived deep into black metal, and now I do what I do.
No turning back.
Yeah, I just want to play only black metal nowadays.
At which point you also realized that you have to be the vocalist?
When I started the band, I didn't want to sing, but I didn't find anybody that could sing the way that I wanted, so I started doing that.
So suddenly you were like, there's nobody.
Yeah, I had only a drummer in Brazil back on this time, and was pretty hard for me to find guys to play this kind of music because people didn't have the skills to play melodic black metal, and even I didn't have it on a certain way. And as I didn't find a singer, I just started doing that.
Now, black metal has always been a lot to do with ideology, and of course there are lyrics to mirror that idea, or ideas that are like anti-religion, even to a certain degree nihilism, war, destruction of mankind, and what have you, all the dark topics and all that stuff.
Yeah.
When did you figure out, okay, I can do it, I want to do it, rather than say like, okay, this is like going too far? I mean, how far into the how to say, how deep you want to go with the themes of black metal?
When I started listening to black metal, I started to meet people that also liked black metal. And in Brazil, there's some kind of traditional religions on the left-hand path, like Kimbanda. And I started to meet people that were into that. And then I also started to discover my spiritual side. And I had some rituals with ayahuasca and everything. And it kind of made me start to believe in something else. And I don't know, like, how deep I go into that. It's just my life, you know. I can't explain how deep I'm into that. It's just what I live day by day, you know.
Now, Brazil and in general, I guess, South America is more religious than a lot of secular European countries, especially here up in the north. And even we have some, say, religious opposition in a way towards these kind of ideas, like devil's music and the like. Have you ever gotten into like real trouble for the music you have been playing?
I'm from São Paulo. São Paulo is a quite big city, so nobody care about it. When I was a kid, maybe because of I had long hair when I was 6 years old, I had some religious people from the family of my father telling me some bullshit. But since I have the band, never had problems with this. You know, never had some trouble in Brazil. It's a very religious country, but nobody really care about metal music because nobody knows that it even exists there.
Yeah, okay.
You know.
Now, coming to you then again, you know, as a Finnish person that Finland is known for the metal capital of the world in terms of how many bands we have per capita and all. Have you ever had to second guess, like, okay, I'm playing this music and I'm now going to the deeper end of extreme metal in the sense of, you know, being ideological and being anti-religion and all, or has it been always like, okay, this is the path I want to go?
It's been always more like just the musical thing that I like. Nothing more or less behind it. It's just good music, and yeah.
As opposed to that, could you imagine yourself playing in a band like similar music, but say, let's say strongly Christian topics and like, let's talk about God and sing about Jesus and all that stuff?
Well, of course, maybe not.
Okay, so there's the limit. I wanted to know. You mentioned that you have other bands. Now it's the proper moment for you to drop some names. What are the other projects and bands you'd be proud to be involved with?
Well, I've been doing a lot of studio sessions for bands, but what names I can pick up is Moonlight Sorcery, of course, and Unfödt. I guess this is the right way to spell it.
Yep.
Unfödt. Yeah, and Outlaw. Then one smaller melodic death metal band from Helsinki, Arctora, but nothing else.
But still quite a few different kind of bands.
Yeah, but I do a lot of these studio sessions, but I have the main bands here.
So they keep you all busy.
Yeah.
If you had to pick the one band to go with, say, on tour, what it would be then? Outlaw?
Outlaw. Well, we're on tour right now.
So there is that. What about you? Do you ever feel like there's need for some other outlets? Like besides Outlaw, you want to do certain kind of music in certain other important bands, not just some bedroom projects?
I have another project that now it's becoming a band. It's called Nahash. It's kind of Death Spell Omega style. And I'm also just joined Acherontas, the band from Greece.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like creating some more stuff in my bedroom that I just want to go on stage with this, you know. But I don't have so much time because Outlaw is really consuming me so much. But yeah, I have some more stuff coming probably next year with other projects, new stuff.
Now there are lots of, especially in Finland, I know that lots of people in the black metal scene who have multiple different bands, and of course it takes, well, different kind of focus to shift from one band to another. Do you have to change yourself like mentally in a way like, okay, now I'm out of Outlaw phase, I'm gonna do with Acherontas or other bands? Do you have to make certain kind of, I don't know, adjustments in your brain in order to, okay, this is not the songs that I've created, but some other songs?
I think that for me, all the bands I play are like an alive organism. So I don't choose to be different, but it's just when I create something for Nahash, for example, I know that it's for Nahash. When I create something for Outlaw, I know it's for Outlaw. It's not something I choose. It's not something like I just go and I say, okay, now I create a song for Outlaw. It doesn't happen. I just start playing guitar and then come some riffs and I think, okay, it fits this band, it fits this band. I don't have like these masks or something. For me, it's all myself and different parts of myself that I just don't have control about it.
So it's kind of like a compartmentalization by itself, like automatically.
Yeah.
All right. Before we conclude, I want to ask you the similar question when with the sex dress when you were translating. If you get to choose one song by Outlaw, like this is the song that you should start diving into the band if you're a, say, new fan or becoming a fan, what would that song be?
That's hard.
I know it's hard, an annoying question.
Yeah, I think maybe Beyond the Realms of God.
Why?
I think it has many elements of the band. It's atmospheric, it's aggressive, and it's melodic at the same time. And this is mostly what we have in the band, you know, all the elements together. So it's also my favorite song. So.
All right. I'm going to ask you the same, but you have to name a different song.
Oh, I will say this.
Because the audience needs to have more than one song to start with.
I think somehow Reaching Beyond Isaiah for some reason it's more, well, it's a slower song than the other songs, but still it has some kind of, how could I explain, the Outlaw atmosphere in it. Like, this is a tough one. There is too many good songs to say. I would say the Beyond the Realms of God, but I don't know, reaching beyond Isaiah.
All right, let's go with that. Now, a final question. Like so many other interviews, I've done the same question. If you could choose to say some kind of a word of wisdom to the wise, you know, like, or the younger self, like, what would be your philosophical take? Like, this wisdom I want to give to the younger generation.
Don't think too much.
Don't think too much.
Yeah, just don't overthink the things. Just do what you think that has to be done. Just follow your instincts. It will probably work, you know. Just go with your intuition.
Probably work, like 75% chance.
Yeah.
All right, let's go with the chance. What about you? What kind of advice you would give to your younger self who is just about to start doing YouTube drum covers and becoming a real drummer for bands? What do you would say?
Work hard. Work harder than I did, I would say.
That is a pretty good combination. Now, thank you for you guys for the whole conversation. Now, if you can take some ideas here, of course, now you know about the songs, now you know roughly about the style of the music, and there is like 75% chance that working hard will pay off and will be the good solution, and the 25% you can put on my account and we'll solve it out. This is Outlaw. Check out these guys, check out their music. It's good, it's, how to say, catchy, it's melodic, it's very, very Swedish sounding. With these words, I want to thank you guys.
Thank you very much.
Obrigado.
Thank you.
Kiitos.
Kiitos.
And this is Turku Saatanalle 2024. This is Outlaw. Stay tuned for Rauta for more reviews, interviews and whatnot, and subscribe and shit like that. See you. All right. Then we take photos before you go.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Tai kiitos. Ei meidän tarvitse välttämättä puhua.